Howdy folks, and welcome back to my World of Tanks replays with the mighty Jingles. Today we're going to have a look at the next one up in the British medium tank line, which is not tier 5, it's the tier 6 Cromwell British medium tank. It's a kind of weird tech tree. If you have a look at the British tech tree, the medium tanks start down here at tier 1 obviously, then you go from the Vickers Mark 1 to the Vickers Mark 2, the Mark 3 and the Matilda, and they're all, well, they're pretty rubbish until you get to the Matilda, which is a good little tier 4 tank. And then you go straight into the heavies. This is actually the British heavy tank line. So from tier 1 to 4 it's the medium tanks, and tier 5 with the Mark 1 Churchill, Churchill Mark 7, the Black Prince, the Carnarvon, the Conqueror and the FV215B. Heavy tank line. If you want to get to the proper British medium tanks, they start at tier 6 with the Cromwell. There is a tier 5 medium tank, but it's a premium tank. It's the Matilda Black Prince, which I had a quick look at on the Patch 8 test server, and I've got a couple of videos up of the Matilda Black Prince. It's an interesting tank. We'll just leave it at that. So yes, to get to the proper British medium tanks, you've got to go through the cruiser tank line of light tanks, and these are fun. And I've got a cruiser tank video coming up. But for now, here we are at tier 6 with the first proper British medium tank. So you've got the Cromwell, the Comet, the Centurion, Centurion Mark 7 and the FV4202. I've already shown you the FV4202. Lots of fun. Great tank. I'm loving the Centurion. I think the Centurion is my new favourite tier 8 medium, which is filling me with all sorts of joyful anticipation for trying out the Centurion Mark 7, but more on that later. Today we're looking at the Cromwell, and there it is. There's the tech tree sitting comfortably as it does at tier 6. So this is going to be competing with tanks like the T-3485, the VK3601H, the VK3001H, 3001P, the Sherman Easy 8, the Sherman Jumbo, you know, tanks like that. How does it stack up? Well, it's a funny machine. Let's have a look at the stats first. Bear in mind this is allegedly a tier 6 medium tank. Okay, so 750 hit points. Actually, you know what? I haven't got a clue how much health the other mediums have. So, yep, the Sherman Jumbo has the same health. Slightly more than the Sherman Easy 8. Let's have a look at the Germans. The 3001H, 750, 3601H, 850, well, to be expected. This is more of a heavy tank than a medium tank. So yeah, as far as health goes, yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's standard tier 6 medium tank health. But it's very light. It's only 28.48 tons. And it has a powerful 650 horsepower engine. The specific power weight ratio is over 20. It's 22.83. So, and again, compare that to the other tier 6 mediums. And if we look at the Americans, the Easy 8, which is a very, very nimble tank, is only 16.96. Sherman Jumbo obviously is going to be slower, 15.35. And these are quick. Well, not so much the Jumbo, but the Sherman Easy 8 it's a quick, agile tank. And has significantly lower power to weight ratio than the Cromwell. Okay, let's have a look at the Germans. Well, we won't look at the 3601H because it's not known for being very fast, but the 3001H is, and that has a lower power to weight ratio than the Cromwell. Well, how about the Panzer III-4? It's only tier 5, but it's a very, very fast machine. That is slightly better power to weight ratio. So we're looking at something that is as fast accelerating and quick as a Panzer III-4, but at tier 6. So that's interesting. So back to the Cromwell. So we know it's quick, and look at the top speed, 64 kilometers per hour. Holy shit, that is a fast medium tank. And it's very, very agile, 36 degrees traverse speed. That is a fast turning tank. In fact, when you look at the replays that I have for you, you're going to see some drifting action going on. A bit of power, the right word, a bit of power sliding. There we go, that's the word I was looking for. Armour wise is not very good at all. 64mm at the front, 76 on the turret with the upgraded turret. Sides and rear 32mm. Turret better armoured, 63 at the side, 56 at the rear. But no matter what side you look at, it's poorly armoured, which you'd expect for a tank that is so light with such a fast speed. It's not going to be carrying an awful lot of armour. The turret is very, very fast turning, 48 degrees per second, and it has good view range and average mid-tier signal range. And it has an awful lot of guns to choose from. The stock gun is the QF 6-pounder Mark III, and it's not bad. The rate of fire is ridiculously good, 26.909 rounds per minute. That's very fast. The penetration is okay. It's 105 millimeters. For a tier 6 stock gun, that's not bad. But the damage is crap. 75. That's bad. And the accuracy isn't very good. But look at the aiming time, 1.9 seconds. So, as stock tank guns go, I've seen worse, but there are better guns available. So, you've got, well, we're going to discount the 3.7 inch. Well, actually, no. Let's take a quick look at the 3.7 inch howitzer. It's a 94 millimeter howitzer, which is weird. It's the only 94 millimeter howitzer I think's in the game. You've got your 75 and 76 millimeter howitzers on the low tier mediums and light tanks, and then you've got your 105 millimeter howitzers on your mid tier mediums. I've never seen a 94 millimeter howitzer before. Now the rate of fire is slow-ish. It's sort of like heavy tank standards or high tier medium tank standard rate of fire. Penetration is awful, as you'd expect, 47 millimeters. But look at the damage. That's not bad. That's like Russian 122 millimeter tank gun damage if you penetrate, which is by no means guaranteed. But that ain't bad at all. But it's a derp gun, 0.53 accuracy, and 2.3 second aiming time isn't bad for a howitzer either. So it's an interesting choice of gun. I wouldn't really recommend it on the Cromwell though, because there are better guns. You can have fun with that gun. Don't get me wrong. You can have fun with that howitzer. There are people who just love driving around with their derpy howitzers, and they have fun doing it. And if that's what you like doing, this is a good howitzer, definitely. I'm not that much of a howitzer person myself, however. But here are the other choices. Now these are good guns. So there's the 6-pounder Mark V L50 gun, and it's got a blisteringly fast rate of fire, 110 millimeters of penetration, but it's got the same crappy 75 millimeters of damage, and it's an upgrade over the 6-pounder Mark III. It's an upgraded version of that. It's the stock gun with better stats. It's better accuracy. It's still not very good accuracy. Still very, very fast aiming time, 1.9 seconds. But 75 damage is no. And even at tier 6, I mean, people complained about the 88mm gun on the German tier 6 mediums for only having 132 millimeters of penetration, and that ain't good at all. So yeah, you don't really want to be using this, although you're probably going to have to use it to get up to the good ones. So here's the other 75mm gun, the Mark V, which isn't bad. The rate of fire is even faster, 20 rounds per minute. It's practically approaching autocannon standards, but the penetration is crap, 91mm, and the damage gets better. But we're really talking tier 5 medium tank standards of damage here. That's like half of what the German medium tank guns can push out. And it's not very accurate, but it still does have that good aiming time. So it's a spray and pray gun, really. You just spam them with shots and hope some of them hit and penetrate. And it's not really very good. This one, on the other hand, oh wow. The Vickers HV 75mm. Oh, this is a heavy tank gun. This is the British mid-tier heavy tank gun. You get it on the Churchill Mark VII. You get it on the Comet, which is another medium tank. But it's the tier 5 and 6 British heavy tank gun. And you get it here at tier 6 on the Cromwell medium tank. Rate of fire is still very good, 15 rounds per minute. That's not bad at all. Penetration is finally getting up there, 148mm of penetration. Better than the German 88mm L56. damage is a little lacking, but it's better than what we're used to so far. That's double the penetration, not the penetration, it's double the damage of the other guns, 135. And we're finally starting to get some accuracy with 0.36 accuracy. And the aiming time is okay. 2.3 seconds is not bad aiming time. Anybody who's used to driving any other tank any other nationality of tanks in the game isn't going to complain at a gun that has 2.3 seconds of aiming time. And I feel that is the gun that this tank needs. It's basically that or the howitzer, and I'm really not much of a howitzer person. I prefer accuracy and sustained penetration and damage than just, derping people and praying it does some damage. But, if you like your howitzers, that 94mm, that 3.7 inch, it's a good one. I like the proper tank guns though, and that's the one for me. To get to that gun, it's a pretty long slog. You've got to go through, well, you start off with the stock 6-pounder. You've got to go through the upgraded version of the 6-pounder, which still isn't very good. You don't have to touch the howitzer. If you want to get the howitzer, you don't have to do an awful lot to get to it, but it's there if you want it. But you have to get the upgraded turret and then get the Mark V 75mm gun before you can get the 75mm Vickers. And you're probably going to want to get it because you're going to want that gun when you come to the Comet. And it really does make this thing a revelation to play, as you're going to see. But back to the garage. Equipment fit. Well, I've gone with medium caliber tank gun rammer, vents, and an enhanced gun lane drive. I mean, 2.3 seconds aiming time is pretty good, but better is always better. And obviously anything that helps pump those shots out, because again, it only does 135 damage, but it's accurate and it's got good penetration, so it's going to hit and penetrate what you fire it at. And it's just a question of pumping those shots out as fast as you can. And obviously a medium caliber tank and rammer is going to help with that. Now, don't look too much into the crew skills that I've got here, because basically this is the crew of my Vickers Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3 and Matilda. I've just been bumping the crew up to each tank as we go up, and this is why people are asking if I'm going to have a look at the new premium tanks in patch 8.1. I'm not, and the reason why I'm not is because it's costing me around 1,000 gold a time to retrain this crew for each tank as I go up, and that's basically what I'm using the gold on. I started off with 18,000. I've spent half of it already just swapping the crews around. So what I've got here is I've got recon on the commander. I've got camouflage on the gunner. Don't know why. Off-road driving on the driver, which makes sense. I've gone for situational awareness for extra view range on the radio operator, and camouflage again on the loader. I should probably change that. The reason the gunner has camouflage is because none of the gunner skills were really much use on the Vickers Mark 1, 2 and 3, which is what this crew was initially on. I should probably change that for something like Snapshot, which would make a good choice on this tank. Specifically this tank, because it's so fast and the turret turns so fast. It's really, really good at circling lone tanks and just pumping the shots into them while avoiding their fire, because it just turns around them faster than they can turn their turret. So anyway, I've blabbed on enough. Let's have a look at some of the games that we've played in the Cromwell. So this was my first ever game in the Cromwell, and I did my usual thing that I do on the test server. I research everything, stick all the upgraded modules on the tank, press the battle button, dive straight in. I don't even bother looking at the stats of the tank. So this came as a big surprise. I thought, damn, this thing's fast. I wasn't expecting this thing to be as fast as this. And this came as a very, very pleasant surprise. And I had no idea how much armor the thing had either. I just jumped into it and hit the battle button. But yeah, it's one of those teams. I headed up the flank here, realised I was all alone, and thought, screw you guys, I'm going home. There ain't no way I am dying for these losers. I'm not going up there without a bit of backup. And what's coming? Well, there's a Super Pershing lumbering his way up here, but thankfully that Comet, Tier 7 British medium tank, and there's a T20 coming to give a bit of support as well. So I'm just going to wait for these guys to get their asses in gear. Oh, Centurion. I've been playing the Centurion and I think it's my new favourite tier 8 medium tank. Got a great gun, and it's agile, it's manoeuvrable, it's quick accelerating. They're not difficult to kill though. 110mm of sloped armour at the front, but you know, as you're going to see, and I'm not using gold ammo, this is standard ammunition. I never use gold ammo on the test series. God, look at how fast the Comet is. I'm going to have fun driving that thing at tier 7. Oh, there's trouble. Boom. Yak Panzer hits us with his 88. Yeah, and now the only thing they have to shoot at coming around that corner, so I need to be careful here. Oh, and there's the new premium Panzer IV. And that shot went wide. Hit the building, and we finish it off. Oh, return fire and hit that Cromwell. Finally the T20 turns up, although he's pretty badly beaten up. Check out the Centurion. Penetrated him from the front. 140, yeah, oof. And again penetrated that Centurion, damaged him and blew his tracks off. And then put another shot into him. And these are all penetrating. And then he hits me again, sets me on fire, bam, off we go. So, couple of things to take away from that one. Damn, this is a fast tank. Damn, it's got shit armour. But the gun is very, very good. I mean, it's a tier 8 medium, and we had no problems putting holes in it with our 148mm penetration gun. And that's a lesson I wish I'd learned earlier when I was driving my own Centurion, as you'll see in one of my Centurion replays, but you know, that's another video. We're talking about the Cromwell here. So, even though I ended up a burning wreck, and I'm pretty sure we lost that game, I was quite impressed with the way this thing handled. It doesn't handle like a medium. It doesn't even handle like a fast medium. It handles more like a light tank than a lot of light tanks. And that's no bad thing, because I like my light tanks as well as my mediums. So let's have another game. So my next Cromwell game, got a slightly better idea of how the thing handles now. And, oh look, it's Rudenburg again, but this time it's only tier 7 game, and we're starting on the other side of the map. Standard battle, again. But now I know how quick this thing is. But again, you know, it's only my second game. Still really don't know how to drive this thing. But I know it's fast, and I know it turns well, and I know it's got a good gun. So stop there, just have a quick look at the map and make sure I'm not heading out here alone again. And here comes trouble. Okay, let's wait for him. Unbelievably, I missed. Now, I am doing the wrong thing here. I'm just going to pull the camera back so you can see the external view. Yeah, I'm not very good at driving. Did a lot of ramming damage to that T50-2 there. Look how fast we turn. And basically we're getting into a knife fight here with two T50-2s and a Chaffee. Okay, the Chaffee kills my gunner, and you know, he gives a good account of himself. And now I'm not feeling very clever sitting here on 70 health. So I'm going to sit in this cover, and I am going to take pot shots at this Comet. Look at the rate of fire.
That's gotta hurt. Looks like that one went
guy repairs his tracks, unfortunately for me. Oh, and he gets them blown off again. But I don't have a very good shot at this angle. And, you know, I'm pretty sure we lost this one as well, but yeah, it was a fun game. But the agility of this thing is still catching me by surprise. Gotta get that comment. Where is he? He keeps disappearing. Yeah, in fact, I'm very, very sure we lost this game. I've just remembered how it ended. Not particularly well for me. Yeah, check out this lot. Aha, I'll take a shot at you. Oh my god, he's got friends. Keep moving, don't stop. But they've scented blood in the water now. Oh, there's a tier 6 over here with not an awful lot of health left. And that T50-2, my nemesis, the one that got away, he's the one who finishes me off. And I end up in a snotty heap once again. But I'm starting to get a grips with the way this thing drives now. The agility caught me out. Excuse me. The turning speed, it turns so much faster than you anticipate. It's kind of like the first time you get your hands on a T50, when you're working your way up the Russian light tank line, you end up oversteering because the speed that the thing turns and corners at just completely takes you off guard. And it's kind of like that when you drive the Cromwell in your first few games. It does take some getting used to. And again, we're back to the whole plays more like a light tank thing, and it definitely does. So this was the third Cromwell game I played, and oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. Look at this. More than half the team are tier 8s, and there's a couple of tier 7s, and then there's me and a couple of scouts and artillery, and I've got 76mm of armour at the front of the turret and 64 at the front of the hull and 34 or 35 at the sides, and oh no, this is not going to end well. And yeah, I didn't rate my chances of survival very highly in this game. And you know what? It's just occurred to me, and this game is no different. The tanks I keep running into when I'm driving this Cromwell, and the tanks that keep giving me problems are the T50-2s. But you know, I give them problems as well, and it just seems to me that this is an incredibly good scout hunting tank, because it's got the speed to keep up with them, and it's got the gun to kill them. And oh look, here comes a T50-2. I'm going to angle here because I'm aware of how easily he can penetrate me. Oh, bloody hell. I bounced 2 hits. It does seem to work. Well, eventually he's going to get through. And I tried to ram him, but I couldn't turn quite fast enough. And now I give chase. And I'm trying the old firing on the move thing, but it's just not quite good enough. And then he drives right in front of an SU-122-44, who ends his adventure very, very quickly. But keep moving, because there's a couple of big boys over there, an IS-6 and Centurion, is it? Yeah, I think so. Oh. And there's a Chaffee over there as well. Missed the IS-6. Oh, artillery. Okay, yeah. You know what it's like when I play games. There's artillery on the map, and I am available to be shot at. They are going to shoot at me, so let's not make it easy for him. Cromwell's is going to be such an easy kill. A stationary Cromwell is going to be such an easy kill for artillery, because the armour is pitiful, and they're going to do full damage, and it only has 750 health. But I managed to get up here without being shot at, so I'm going to go for the reload and get some high explosive loaded. I've never been in here before on Himmelsdorf, patch 8. Oh, big amount of damage. You've got to be kidding me. That didn't penetrate. And that one missed. No way. Finally got it. Okay, back to armor piercing. That was a bit disappointing. Oh, come on. Got to be able to get over here. Come on, move. There we go. Oh, just wait slightly too long to get the last shot into that Super Pershing side. But, you know, the Centurion there, he worked for the kill, he deserved the kill. And now all they have left, well, now all they have left is a T-26 and a T-34. So let's put that speed to use, get up the hill, put some shots into their backsides. Yeah, this turned out to be a fun game. Largely because we had a good team. And you know, the team played well enough that it allowed me to have fun derping around in my fake medium here. And yep, I picked exactly the wrong spot to shoot at the back of a T-34. Back of the turret. Yeah, not a great idea. So that was a fun game. And we didn't do amazingly well. But we did all right. It was enough to get 1,000 experience, which, you know, you should expect if you survive to the end of a game where you're right at the bottom of the tier list and you do some damage. You should expect to get a good amount of XP, and you know, we did. Shots fired 15, just over half of which hit, majority of which penetrated, and damage done not fantastic. Took 4 hits, a couple of those bounced from the T-50-2's 57mm gun, and that was pretty much it. Detected 1, damaged 2, killed 1. The one being the M41 artillery. Stupid shot at the end we took at the back of the turret of that T-34. I mean, I didn't know at the time, but I've checked it up since. It was the worst possible place I could have chosen to shoot at the T-34 from behind. The rear of his turret is actually 203mm thick. My gun has 148mm penetration. I should have just shot at his arse, which is only about 53mm, but, you know, would have, should have, could have, didn't. But now I know better. I don't really come across T-34s very often. And I'm, from the rear, well, I just assumed, yeah, shoot for the back of the turret. Bad idea. But, you know, I know better now. However, I really feel, as you saw when I was chasing after that T-50-2, I really feel like this tank would benefit massively from a vertical stabiliser. However, you can't fit one. It will not. It's just not available, which is a real shame. And I say that for a couple of reasons. Mostly because this is a fast tank. It only has 64mm of armour on the hull at the front, 76 on the turret. Its armour is pretty weedy. It's okay at the front. It's pretty shit everywhere else. So this tank's major survival factor is its speed and its manoeuvrability. And if you want to do well in this tank, you've got to keep moving, and that's where a vertical stabiliser comes in. And the gun is pretty good. You know, 148mm of penetration. It's better than the German Tier 6 medium tanks get. It just doesn't do as much damage. But the accuracy's good, the aiming time's pretty good, the rate of fire is very good. And that's exactly the kind of gun on exactly the kind of tank you really want to be fitting a vertical stabiliser to. Unfortunately, you just can't. And I think that's a real shame. Because I'm struggling to think of a tank in the game that would benefit from one more than the Cromwell. But you know what? This thing doesn't really play like a medium tank, as far as I'm concerned. It feels more like a light tank. It's pretty heavily armoured for a light tank, and it's very well armed for a light tank. But it just feels like a light tank. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a quick comparison here between a very famous light tank, the T50-2, and have a look at the details of that, compare them to what we have on the Cromwell. And this might surprise some of you. Now that 560 hit points this is the stock stats of the T50-2. If you add the upgraded turret to it, it's going to gain a little bit of extra health, and obviously it's a tier lower. This is tier 6, T50-2 is tier 5, and it is a light tank. So 750 hit points on the Cromwell, 560, we'll call it 600 for the sake of argument, on the T50-. In fact, you know what? I've got mine right here. How much does it have? Yeah, it still has 560. In fact, let me just check that. Yeah, the stats are all exactly the same. So, yeah, because I have the T50-2 in the garage, I get the upgraded stats when I mouse over and right-click on it. So, okay, there we go. We can compare them directly. That's good. And I think the comparison is going to surprise a lot of people. Obviously, the Cromwell has more health. It's a medium tank and it's a tier higher. But it's not a lot more. 750 versus 560. Yeah. It's only 8 kilometers an hour slower than the T50-2, which isn't bad for a medium tank. The traverse speed is comparable. It's 36 versus 38. It turns almost as fast, and the turret turns faster, 48 degrees versus the 45 degrees. But, you know, again, it's only 3 degrees difference. It's comparable. It is better armoured from the front only. The side armour, well, the T50-2 actually has better side and rear armour than the Cromwell does. View range, signal range, yeah, who cares? We're talking about, you know, combat performance here. So let's look at the guns. So we'll go back to light tanks. Russian and T50-2 gets the 57mm ZIS-4. And the guns are, you know, they're comparable. I mean, the same aiming time, roughly the same accuracy. Obviously, the 75mm does more damage, and it does have very good penetration. But the rate of fire isn't that much worse on the Cromwell. So, the Cromwell is it's a weird medium tank, because it really, really doesn't play like a medium. It plays like a really good light tank, which is no bad thing. I mean, I'm driving this thing around, and every now and then I just feel like I'm in a T50-2. I mean, it looks nothing like one, but it handles like one. It's got the speed of one. It's as agile as one. It's just better armed. And that's an interesting little combination. So I do think I'm going to have fun driving this thing. I mean, they're not hard to kill. If you get hit driving a Cromwell, you're going to get hurt. Absolutely everything and anything that is shooting at the Cromwell is going to be able to penetrate it. But it's hitting the Cromwell that's the tricky part. It's like the T50-2, and to a lesser degree the T50 down at tier 4, because yeah, anything and everything that shoots at them can kill them, but you've got to hit the little buggers first, and that's where the Cromwell is the same. It's just so fast and manoeuvrable. Slightly bigger target than the T50-2, but you know, it's not that much bigger a target. Again, let's compare them. There's the Cromwell. There's the T50-2. Yeah, it is chunkier, it's certainly wider, but it's not that much bigger. And I figure if you play the Cromwell like a fast medium, not a fast medium, I mean it is a fast medium, but if you play it like a fast light tank, you're going to do very, very well indeed. In fact, it reminds me a lot of the Chaffee. It's just a lot faster than the Chaffee. It's just got that light tank feel to it, which I really, really like. So let's have another game, see how we do. Ooh, Dragon's Ridge again. I like Dragon's Ridge. I've missed it. I mean, I never had the problems that other people experienced on Dragon's Ridge, and I can understand completely why they pulled the game, why they pulled the bat from the game. It was causing people's screens to go red when they went into sniper mode, and there was something wrong with it, so they pulled it, and it's been gone since halfway through patch 7.3, I think. And I think it's made a very, very welcome return. I do like this map. It's very pretty. But it's a heavy tier 8 game again. Look at them all. And I had a bit of a lag spike as I come up to overtake this ARL 44. And what I thought had happened. Now you see, you can't see it in the replay. There it is. Yeah. Now, I thought for some reason there was a bug on the map and the front of my tank had just buried itself underground, and this is exactly what happened. But what had actually happened was that I just had a spike of lag, and within a couple of seconds you're going to see, bang, oof, suddenly there I am. So yeah, anyway, there you go. Nothing wrong with the map, just my connection nearly bombed out again. And here we go, climbing up the hill that I completely failed to get up in the FV4202 video. And what I'm planning on doing is, I'm just going to pull to an external camera view. Watch this. I'm planning on heading over to the gap at the back there to intercept any tanks that come up the hill. Watch this. Bit of power slide, bit of drifting action for you. Damaged my own tracks, but check this out. And I have to actually lean on the brakes there to avoid flying off the side and into the rice paddies. But yeah, I'm intending on heading for that gap up by the back road, but then I just spot all these targets, so you know it'd be rude of me not to shoot them. Look at all these juicy tier 8s. Oh, there's KV2s there as well, and Carnarvons, and come on. Now, I wasn't watching my ammo counter in this game.
Enemy armor is damaged.
And I did miss with a lot of shots here.
They're hit.
And these guys have absolutely, luckily for me, because Cromwells are not difficult to kill, but these fellas had, they either didn't know or didn't care where these side shots were coming from.
Enemy is hit. We've got them.
And you know, sometimes it's very, very easy to just ignore when you're taking small amounts of damage from unexpected directions and you've got bigger tanks in front of you. Sometimes it's very, very easy to just ignore that damage because you've got bigger problems in front of you. But with a gun that fires as quickly as this, that damage can add up. Yeah, unfortunately the Cromwell doesn't have fantastic gun depression. I mean, it's all right, but it ain't American. Oh, there's somebody who used a repair kit. Tracks off again. Just in a second, watch how quickly these KV2s move when they're going downhill. Look at him go. Look at him scoot. Go on, Speedy Gonzales. Ooh, need to be careful. Don't want to hit that easy too. The jumbo.
Enemy is hit. Got him.
Gotcha. So what they got left? A Tiger 2 and a T-34-85. And there's the Tiger 2. That Tiger 2 drove all the way down the bottom of the map, all the way through the village at the bottom of the rice fields, and then all the way up that hill in front of me. And when he finally got into a position where he could see enemy tanks, he was one of the only 2 tanks left alive on their team. There's a lesson there for big, slow, heavy tank drivers. Don't go around that back road and up that hill. It will not end. It will only end in tears. The T-34-85 goes for a ramming kill and just manages to kill himself. So yeah, that's another. Happy with that. Tracks back up. Still got 400 health. let's get around and start shooting in the ass of this Tiger 2. Careful, don't want to hit friendlies. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on there. The replay is not complete. I actually got the kill on that Tiger 2. Sorry about that, folks. They did mention in the patch notes that they were doing something funny with the replays, and so they might not all work as anticipated, which is a real shame because yeah, my next shot ended up killing the Tiger 2 and winning the game. So anyway, let's go back to the garage, check out the results. Yeah, I like the Cromwell. I like it a lot better when nobody's shooting at it. It's a very fragile tank, but it can push the hurt out. So yeah, first class mastery badge, 1300 XP on double, 26,000 credits, and what the hell is that? I apologise to any Finns who are watching this video. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of that medal, but I'm very proud that I was awarded it. Awarded to players on medium tanks who destroy 2 enemy tanks or tank destroyers. Must be at least 2 tiers higher. Yeah, nice one. So, a shiny new medal, first class mastery badge, and a damn good result. Yeah, on one of my favourite maps, Dragon's Ridge. God, blimey, look at that. Killed a T-34-85, killed a KV-2, killed a Lerva, killed a Tiger 2. There's... alright, the Tiger 2 was a bit cheesy. I think we bounced off him twice. We only hit and damaged him once. And got the killing blow. You know, what the hell. I'll take the XP anyway I can get it. Did a good chunk of damage to the Lerva. Did a good chunk of damage to the KV-2. Did a reasonable amount of did a pretty good amount of damage to the T-34. Panther 2, I didn't even realise I was shooting at a Panther 2. Should have done better against that other Cromwell, but hey, you know, almost 300 damage. Not bad at all. T-34-85 we detected. Somebody else got a shot into him. Yeah, good result. Let's have a look at the detailed report. 38 shots fired. Wow. How much ammo does this thing carry? Whoa, I nearly ran out of ammo. I hadn't even noticed. I was just having too much fun. My loadout here, 10 HE for dealing with artillery. Obviously, in the game there on Himmelsdorf, I was glad to have that. Do maximum damage to that M41. 10 rounds, maybe a bit much. You keep getting at tier 8 games like this, you're going to need all the armour piercing you can get. But look at that, 38 fired, 22 hit, 19 of which penetrated, 1400 damage caused. Yeah, not bad at all. Only actually took the 1 hit, but it did a butt ton of damage to us. 7 damaged, 4 destroyed. Oh, well, yeah, that came very, very close to getting Confederate as well, which is nice. And how did we do XP? Yep. Didn't quite. Oh, check out that T-50-2 driver. Well done. Well done, you mad Russian bastard, you. Driving your T-50-2 in that game. He did exceptionally well too. In fact, let's have a look at his result. That is an incredible amount of XP. What did he... Look at that. 46 shots fired, 43 hit the target. Christ almighty. 2,700 damage done. This... I mean, he only got the 1 kill. But, wow, look at that. That is awesome. That's a good T-50-2 driver. And he survived on higher health than I did. He was robbed of the medal, but that's an exceptionally good game for that fella. And you know, I feel the Cromwell plays like the T-50-2 does. It's just as agile. It's almost as fast. It's got slightly better armour and is better armed. And if you can get that kind of game in a T-50-2 in that kind of lineup, then there's no reason why you cannot get that kind of score with a Cromwell in that kind of lineup, because the tanks just, they're so much like each other. And a vastly enjoyable game. Yeah, I'm getting one of these, and it's a keeper. It's a fun tank to play. I haven't had I can't recall having as much fun driving a tank since I first laid hands on my Chaffee. It's you know, and perhaps the Chaffee is a better comparison. You know, than the T-50-2. It's, you know, except this is faster than a Chaffee. It's just, it's not a medium tank. It really isn't. It's a bloody good light tank. You know, you can stick it in the medium tank tree and call it a medium if you want. I mean, you can stick a strap-on tail and a pair of whiskers on a goldfish, but that doesn't make it a squirrel. You know, it's still a goldfish. This thing plays like a light tank. If you play it like a light tank, I think you're going to do very, very well indeed. But you know, as you saw, it's certainly good enough, that gun, to be a long-range sniper as well, and then yet close in and do the short-range knife work like the light tanks are good at doing, as the situation requires. So the Cromwell, a hellishly good machine. Tier 6 British medium tank. In name only. It plays more like a light tank than most other light tanks. It's a great little tank. I'm definitely looking forward to getting one, and I highly recommend you guys do too. If you like the look of what you've seen, this is going to be a fun tank to drive. So that was the Cromwell British Tier 6 medium tank. I certainly hope you enjoyed the replays even half as much as I've enjoyed driving this thing. Take care on the battlefield, and I'll catch you later.